Welcome to Deathcare Cybersecurity Essentials, ensuring the safety of your business and the families you serve. Hello, I'm Jody Miller, Senior Vice President of Sales at Director's Choice. And joining me today is my colleague Sam Gady, Director of Information Security and Services. Here at Director's Choice, we are committed to protecting your data and that of the families that you serve. We make it our mission to meet the highest levels of data security. Because this is such a relevant and important topic, we're excited to share some real-world tips with you today. Let's start with why cybersecurity matters now more than ever. First of all, it's expensive. A breach can cost a small business $800 to tens of thousands of dollars. And these costs continue to increase year over year. We also know that millions of decedents become victims of identity theft each year, and hackers are targeting deathcare industry in unique ways. Deathcare businesses have a responsibility to protect the data and the privacy of the families that they serve. They are counting on you to keep their personal information safe. As I mentioned, deathcare businesses are targets of cyber attacks more and more each year. You just have to read the headlines. A Louisiana funeral home became victim to a phishing email scam. The ICCFA has shared stories, specifically about a funeral home and cemetery combo where hackers demanded $51,000. Luckily, this business was only down for several days, but the downtime can be significant in weeks and months. And also recently, the Florida Department of Public Health had a breach that delayed death certificates, cremation, and services. This lasted for over 2 weeks. And we know all too well that there is no business that is immune to these types of attacks. Healthcare has taken a significant hit over the past couple of years. Recently, earlier this year, there was a ransomware attack on Change Healthcare. The estimated impact was devastating. 1 in 3 Americans, almost 150 million people, potentially had personal health and private information exposed. This means names, addresses, phone numbers, social security and driver's license numbers, health ID and medical records, billing information. Chances are you or a member of your family has been exposed due to this attack. And we know, as I mentioned, these are happening in death care as well. Decedents' names, date of birth, times of death, pronouncing physician information, information about next of kin, even whether a decedent was positive for COVID or had another communicable disease. Imagine if this information was compromised, how devastating it would be for a family. So what happens when a cyber attack occurs? Well, we talked about the direct financial impact. The loss of financials can be devastating, but there's also the downtime of the business. Again, days, weeks, months, even longer. Most small businesses cannot endure that type of loss. And then there are the legal obligations and the risks associated with potential lawsuits. And really, the most important thing is that reputation that you've developed, that closeness with the families that you serve, and the loss of their trust. You've heard the saying, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Couldn't be more true in this situation. It only takes that one weak link, one person, for a cyber attack to occur. So we must be vigilant, educate and train our employees, overprotect and overprepare. Protect data is about maintaining trust. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Sam, who's going to take you through details about preparation, planning, and implementation.
Thank you, Jody, and hello, everyone. Let's talk about how you can effectively improve your business security posture and minimize the risk of a cyber attack. It all starts with preparation, which consists of conducting a risk assessment. How to conduct a risk assessment? You need to develop controls. You need to know what risks you have to build controls to protect against these risks. Risk assessment is essential to identify potential gaps in operations, technologies, and vendors. It will help you build controls to address gaps within internal operations. Consider your vendors, especially those with access to protected data. Vendors can impact your overall security posture and even SLA that you provide to your clients. Determine the impact of a downtime. What would you lose by being offline for a day or a week? Limiting existing sources of exposure. Let's talk about sources of exposure, which may include both physical and digital. Know what is necessary in a single file location to be secured. Maybe a paperwork or record that are no longer relevant to your business, but contain sensitive information about you or your client. Delete or shred all files. If it's no longer relevant to your business or needed for compliance requirements, securely delete it or shred it. Minimize the risk of these records being exploited by an attacker or hacker. Share data safely. If data must be shared with vendors, make sure to have the necessary controls in place to confirm its security. Maximizing your digital security. There are more ways to maximize your digital security, which includes replace outdated systems, as hackers often exploit weak and unprotected systems. Try to use cloud and encryption whenever it's possible. Use complex passwords and change them often. A unique password for each system is essential. Change your passwords every 90 days, as is recommended by many compliance requirements. Implement two-factor authentication, which will make it harder for hackers to get into your account if they were able to guess your password. Be wary of suspicious emails. Hackers are faking emails from known associates or business partners. If email looks suspicious, check carefully before opening the email or clicking on a link or downloading an attachment. If it looks like phishing, it's likely other people have gotten similar message or similar email. Contact your IT professionals immediately. Choose new vendors carefully. Remember, you are only as strong as your weakest link. This includes third-party businesses and contractors. They need to meet your security training, certification, and insurance requirements before accessing your systems. This is especially important for any vendor who interact with families you serve. We strongly recommend looking for vendors who have achieved independent data security certifications. Let's take HITRUST for example. HITRUST is the highest standard of information protection. It goes beyond HIPAA to validate that data remains private and protected. Other certification may include Security Operations Control, known as SOC 2, Payment Card Industry Security Standard, known as PCI DSS. Certifications are not only markers of quality, but assures that you're taking the right action to protect businesses and families you serve. Certifications are typically conducted by third-party auditors, but you should also perform internal audits against your business security posture.
This is all great information, Sam. You mentioned risk assessment and security audits. How often should these be performed?
Great question. Security audits should be conducted at least annually. Also, when a business experiences a significant change. For instance, let's say implementing new networks, upgrading firewalls, or installing new applications.
Thank you.
Master the basics of security. Last, let's talk about mastering security basics when your plan is in place. Employee training and awareness. Ensure your employees are informed about everything we've covered: best practices, passwords, phishing, etc. Regular system updates and patch management. Make sure all your devices are up to date, which includes your laptops, desktops, firewalls, etc. Determine your need for cyber liability insurance options. You might not be able to cover all aspects of cyber threats, so look into insurance, also known as risk transfer. Many different options and plans are detailed here. Firewall and antivirus protection. Monitor and control incoming and outgoing traffic. Data backup and incident response plan. Crucial to have comprehensive plan in place for data breaches, which should outline the steps to be taken, which includes communication protocols, collaboration with law enforcement if necessary. Regularly backup critical data, and ensure backup systems are secured and regularly tested, which helps minimize the impact of attack and ensures essential services can be restored quickly. The 4 keys to resilience. 4 procedures are at the heart of every effective cybersecurity plan. Identify critical assets and map dependencies. Determine the systems that are critical for ongoing business operations and map out their key dependencies, such as technologies, vendors, supply chains. Assessing risks. Consider the full range of threats that could disrupt these critical systems and the specific impact of threats they pose. Plan and exercise. Develop an incident response and recovery plans. Conduct regular exercises under realistic conditions. Adapt and improve. Periodically evaluate and update responses and recovery plans based on results of exercises in real-world incidents.
Sam, speaking of real-world incidents, what are the signs that a data breach may have occurred in a business?
Sure. Common indicators of a data breach may include receiving unexpected password reset notifications, inability to access files, or seeing their icons changed, which could be a sign of a ransomware, alongside with finding ransom notes on your computer. Others may include unusual system slowness or inability to access local systems or servers. Your question will lead us to the next topic, which covers how to respond to data breaches. In the event of a breach, let's talk about how to prepare your business to minimize the risk of a cyber attack. Every cyber incident is different. Every business is different. That being said, there are 5 basic things to do if an attack happens. Contain the breach to the extent possible. Assess the impact, which devices and parties are affected. Notify everyone affected by the breach, as well as appropriate authorities. Correct the situation with remediation action. Contact your legal representative. These measures should be included in your incident response plan, which we talked about. Let's go over each of these. Containment means minimizing further spread of a breach. Shut down affected machine systems or disconnect them from the internet, which will help protect non-affected devices. Isolate devices that can be hacked or that have been hacked, Keep them off the network and physically quarantine them. Limit access to all your systems. You may want to temporarily change administrative privileges or passwords. Lock down areas of your business that need to be secured. Put sensitive documents in a secure container. Change locks if necessary. Assessing the breach is critical to addressing it quickly. Evaluate the scope and severity of the breach. How many people are affected? what data or other assets have been compromised. Figure out what you know and don't know. Are you aware of all affected devices? Are there others in your business network, region, or industry that are impacted by that breach? Determine what risk your business and client faces. What happens if the breach is not addressed effectively in a timely manner? Notification. This may be the most important step, which can make a difference between a minor disruption and a major event. Notify anyone who was affected by the breach as soon as you can, which will include contacting law enforcement. Explain the incident clearly, including when and where it happened, what you know about the data that was compromised, how attackers might be using client data. Communicate your action plan. FTC advice, which tells people what specific action needs to be taken. Depending on the breach, you may also want to provide recommendations for helping people to protect themselves more. That includes placing fraud alerts, freezing their credit, changing their password, and so on. Make sure that people know who to contact if they have questions or concerns. Recovering from the breach can be long, complex, and a costly process, and it depends on the nature of the business as well as what kind of incident. In general, you will need to fix the immediate problem, whether it's a ransom, virus, theft, or another kind of attack. Resecure your business, essentially removing unauthorized users, regaining control of systems, ensuring sensitive information is secured and remains secured, and implementing measures that prevent other incidents. Communicate that the event is over. Inform people when you're back online and secure, and share information with them. Finally, be sure to contact your legal advisor about cyber attacks as soon as you can. The earlier they know, the better prepared they are. Don't be afraid to ask questions. They can help you understand what to do and what's at stake. Keep a record of all your actions and correspondences, which will help legal advisors manage your case, file a claim, defend your business if necessary.
Sam, how can we maintain client trust after a breach?
Transparency is key. Quickly inform clients of the breach and outline steps you're taking to resolve it, which may include credit monitoring for your customers. Also, ensure that follow-up communication emphasizes on your commitment to improving security. In the next section, we will discuss additional ways to protect families. Your business isn't the only target of a cyber attack. Families you serve are vulnerable to phishing, fraud, and scam. Criminals often take advantage of people during hard times, such as loved one's illness or death. Criminals impersonate funeral directors are increasingly common. You can help your client by offering cybersecurity tips and proactively send out emails to your list with guidance on how to spot scams. Help families understand the importance of their personal identification information, PII for short. Scammers use information shared in obituaries to steal identities and run social engineering campaigns. You can also educate families on what to do if they experience a scam or identity theft. Notify authorities, set up credit monitoring, stay vigilant. Issues can persist for years after the incident. In conclusion, every deathcare business must take every precaution to protect the information of its clients. Putting in place a robust security plan and partnering with companies that have strong data protection controls will enable you to go above and beyond your competitors. Thank you, and now I turn it over to Jody.
Thank you, Sam. This presentation was very informative. I hope you all found it helpful. Before we end, I want to share some information about Director's Choice. As I mentioned, we take cybersecurity very seriously. We're high trust certified, SOC 2 Type 1, and PCI DSS compliant. We are a team of dedicated individuals serving the death care industry with over 30 years of experience. It is our mission to care for the families you serve with the same level of compassion, empathy, and reassurance. If you'd like to learn more about Director's Choice, please visit our website at dchoice.com or give us a call at 888-920-1900. Thanks again for joining.